Hello everyone. Welcome to my Y&R 24 Spoilers channel. Noah's mystery moves forward and enemies appear. According to spoilers and updates for the young and the restless, a mystery surrounding Noah Newman will be revealed between September 22nd and October 10th. Let's talk about what to anticipate on the CBS soap opera as Nick Newman and Sharon Newman will attempt to save Cain Ashby as his enemies will also surface. Billy's pivotal moment and Sally's unpleasant choice. Billy Abbott will undergo a sea change during the week of September 22nd to 26th as he plans to defeat Cain and enlists Jack Abbott's assistance to do so. Billy will put pressure on Sally Spectra to make a choice, despite her concerns that he may lose control. In order to keep their relationship going, Billy can pressure Sally to accept his own personality and his vindictive tendencies. Kyle Abbott, meanwhile, will be incensed because Audra Charles provoked him. Kyle will allow Audra to irritate him again, but he truly needs to learn to ignore her and avoid her drama. Lauren demands the truth about Claire's travel choice. Claire Newman is thinking about going on an adventure with Holden Novak in Los Angeles because he has invited her to go there. Could Lauren Baldwin reveal to Cain the truth about Michael Baldwin's agreement with Victor Newman, ending everything? In fact, Cain will soon dissolve an alliance that might include Michael if Lauren exposes his betrayal in order to get his release. Victor will make a very attractive offer to Cain, but it may not be possible for them to come to an agreement. Instead, Victor seems prepared to reconcile with Jack and devise a cooperative plan to defeat Cain. But pairing an Abbott with a Newman is never a good idea. The rescue mission for Noah by Sharon, Nick, and Tessa and Daniel was shocking. There may be some surprises for Tessa Porter and Daniel Jr. at the hotel where Mariah Copeland's incident happened during the week of September 29th. Viewers saw a flashback of Mariah suffocating a stranger with a pillow after she told Tessa that she had tried to kill a man. Furthermore, there's a risk that Tessa might become engrossed in Daniel's company on this trip. Did that man truly live, and if so, what happened to him? Will they kiss, or maybe do something more passionate? For Noah's sake, Sharon and Nick must move swiftly. He'll get into some problems in Los Angeles, and Nick and Sharon will have to work together to save their son. Cain's enemies emerge as the Los Angeles Noir story continues. October will see the development of a LA Noir story, especially during the week of October 6th to 10th, which could result in noteworthy occurrences. If Sienna Bacall poses as the project developer Noah is supposed to meet, she could be instrumental in trapping him. Detective Burrow, who is anticipated to support Sharon and Nick in their inquiry, and Roger Howarth's role will also be featured. Cain will encounter resistance from his enemies in Genoa City, but issues could come up. Victor and Jack's collaboration is unlikely to work out, and as time goes on, their animosity may resurface, pushing buttons, outrage, and standing ground. According to Wednesday, September 24th spoilers for the young and the restless, there will be some shocking revelations soon. While an ex irritates people and a wife is defending herself, two characters attempt to calm someone's anger. What can we expect from Wednesday's performance? It's time to find out. Spirals of Billy Abbott. According to Wednesday, September 24th spoilers for the young and the restless, Billy Abbott will lose his mind just before Cain Ashby betrays him. He will be furiously seeking retribution, but he will have two challenges in the form of Diane Jenkins Abbott and Jack Abbott. Additional teasers reveal that Billy's brother and sister-in-law will try to prevent and slow down his retaliation, while also urging him to be wise and concentrate on other things that will make his life more positive. Can they, however, convince Billy to stop thinking about getting revenge on Cain? Lauren maintains her position. When it comes to Michael Baldwin, Lauren will not back down across town. It appears that Lauren will corner her husband in the hopes that he would tell her the truth, because she believes Michael is up to no good. Michael is likely to inform her that he is on Victor Newman's Peril once more in an attempt to bring down Cain, but he might only tell her half the truth. Time will tell. Read this. The young and the restless spoilers. Triangle explodes after Lily catches Cain and Phyllis cheating? Buttons are pushed by Audra Charles. Lastly, according to Wednesday's spoilers on The Young and the Restless, Audra Charles will irritate Kyle Abbott. The show will continue where the Tuesday, September 23rd episode left off, as the two rivals and ex-partners butt heads throughout that episode. Audra will be compelled to do anything but apologize to Kyle when he burst out at their table, despite Sally Spector's insistence that she do so. To what extent will things become unsightly? To discover out, fans will need to tune in. It all starts with Noah Newman's unraveling mystery, the renewed dynamic as Sharon and Nick come together for their son, and the perilous emergence of both new and old enemies circling Kane Ashby. The upcoming chapter of The Young and the Restless is expected to be one of the most complex and emotionally explosive arcs in recent memory. The beauty of this arc is that it allows all of its storylines to flow into one another rather than separating them into discrete narratives. For example, romantic relationships can become strategic decisions, betrayals can become survival techniques, and personal crises can become professional problems. Characters make decisions inside a web of consequences, history, and personal grudges. This is the essence of the soap opera genre at its best. The plot of Noah Newman alone is a change in tone because, for years, Noah has mostly been portrayed as the more reserved Newman kid, a young man who frequently fades into the background in contrast to the explosive relationships of Nick, Sharon, Faith, and even Summer. In addition to granting Noah long overdue autonomy, the writers are entangling him in a mystery that compels Sharon and Nick to face aspects of themselves they believed had been buried by placing him at the center of a noir-flavored Los Angeles narrative. Despite having more failed starts than most soap opera couples, Sharon Case and Joshua Morrow have always had unrivaled on-screen chemistry. The urgency of protecting their child gives them a renewed sense of purpose. Nick's inclination is one of defense and rescue, a Newman reflex that was tempered by Sharon's influence but was inherited from Victor. The stakes are higher for Sharon since she has been fighting her own crises for years, including cancer and mental health issues, and she is now using her fortitude to protect Noah. Their fresh collaboration serves as a reminder that they work best as a team in times of need rather than as romantic nostalgia. Because Los Angeles is a dramatic element rather than just another city in soap opera geography, the LA Noir framework emphasizes this even more. The showrunners utilize Los Angeles as a transitional area where temptation, peril, and reinvention meet, in contrast to Genoa City, which lives on business warfare and intergenerational wealth feuds. A story that is less about boardrooms and more about shadows, traps, and hazy allegiances is created by introducing characters like Detective Burrow as a potentially dubious ally or Sienna Bacall as a fake developer who traps Noah. This is typical noir, where the idealistic protagonist is enticed into corruption by femme fatale and covert objectives. Noah, naive but not stupid, enters the setup thinking he's seeking a career opportunity, but instead he becomes the mark of a scammer. As a result, Sharon and Nick are forced to play detectives themselves, entangling them in a case that raises the ethical questions of parenthood. How far will you go to protect your grown child from his own transgressions? In the meantime, the storyline's Genoa City half unfolds in equally tumultuous ways, particularly in relation to Kane Ashby. Kane has always been a character who must balance being perceived as a family man and being exposed as a scheming individual, as well as between redemption and relapse. It appears that the authors are laying the groundwork for a story in which Kane is both hunted and hunted by the revelation that his opponents are organizing at the same time that Victor Newman and Jack Abbott are considering an unexpected alliance. Offering Kane peace or a partnership is never a straightforward gesture from Victor. Jack is well aware that every transaction with Victor is tinged with deceit. Irony and peril abound in their choice to band together, even for a brief time, in order to defeat Kane. Jack has spent decades portraying himself as Victor's moral opposition, yet he now runs the risk of adopting Victor's strategies. Alliances between Abbotts and other groups are always ticking time bombs, built on need and doomed to be betrayed, as soap opera history reminds us. Thus, the emergence of Kane's adversaries may jeopardize not only his personal stability, but also the already precarious reconciliation between Victor and Jack, reigniting the Abbott-Newman rivalry that will affect several families. The intensely personal arcs that run through all of this include Audra Charles's provocative push-pull with Kyle, Sally Spector's sad ultimatum, Lauren's courageous fight against Michael, and Billy Abbott's growing obsession with vengeance. Billy's decline is depicted not just as a man who is upset at Kane's treachery, but also as someone who is dependent on the rush of getting even. In addition to being family members attempting to prevent Billy from killing himself, Jack and Diane's intervention serves as a metaphor for the viewers who have witnessed Billy's irresponsible behavior repeat itself over and over again for years. Billy's inability to separate himself from chaos, he needs it even as it destroys him, is what makes the story so poignant. Consequently, Sally becomes collateral damage. She has been trying to establish stability in her relationship with Billy, but he demands that she accept his darker side, which is not feasible. Sally has fought her way up in Genoa City by continuously changing who she is. She has put up with drama, but she has never sworn loyalty to destruction. It seems like a thematic echo of every soap heroine who must choose between desire and survival, as she must decide whether to embrace Billy for who he is or to leave. Here, the Lauren arc intersects equally forcefully. Lauren's refusal to back down from Michael is an indictment of involvement and secrecy, not just a marital argument. Although Michael and Victor have a long history together, Lauren's reluctance to portray the blind husband solidifies her position as one of the show's most realistic truth-tellers. Lauren becomes an active participant in the company conflicts by threatening to expose Michael to Kane. It's a daring decision that emphasizes the soap opera's recurring idea that companions, strategists, and occasionally the only safeguard against corruption are spouses. The dramatic irony is that although Michael thinks he can strike a balance between his marriage to Lauren and his allegiance to Victor, in reality, every decision he makes now brings him one step closer to being called a traitor by one side or the other. Regarding the younger generation, Claire Newman's choice to perhaps accompany Holden Novak to Los Angeles underscores the ongoing conflict of youth in soap operas, the traction between personal adventure and family heritage. As Victor and Nikki's granddaughter, Claire is supposed to fulfill her position in the dynasty, but she is tempted to become independent by Holden's invitation. Every Newman eventually has to decide whether to give in to Victor's attraction or try to break free from it. Therefore, the thematic resonance is evident. Claire runs the possibility of danger and self-discovery if she pursues Holden, which is similar to Noah's own journey in L.A. The horrific confessions made by Tessa, Daniel, and Mariah in the subplot are very closely related to the noir mood. Moral ambiguity is introduced into the narrative by Mariah's admission that she previously tried to smother a guy, making it difficult to distinguish between the victim and the offender. The man's return, if he lived, would be like a ghost from the past, upsetting Mariah and Tessa's relationship and possibly luring Daniel into a passionate moment. The prospect of Tessa and Daniel kissing or more is not only about adultery. It's also about going back to their past together and seeing how strong their current relationships are. It illustrates the show's dedication to cyclical drama, in which past deeds continue to haunt the present. The comic-tragic relief thread, on the other hand, is the growing hostility between Audra and Kyle, which illustrates how private grievances can develop into enduring conflicts. Even though he is aware of this, Kyle can't help but react to Audra's provocations, and Audra enjoys throwing him off balance. Their dynamic brings competition, frustration, and hazardous chemistry to the canvas. Every button Audra presses is a premeditated move to undermine Kyle, and every response from Kyle serves as a reminder that he still lacks the self-control required to lead effectively in the competitive world of Genoa City. 3 words, mystery, alliance, and consequence, form the basis of this overall arc, which runs from late September to early October. Billy's spiral and Lauren's demand represent consequence. Victor and Jack's precarious ceasefire represent alliance, and Noah's noir tale represents mystery. The genius is in the way these strands reflect one another. Partners facing treachery, parents saving children, and competitors luring rivals. By October 10th, there will be more than just developed storylines on the canvas. Character connections will have been reset in ways that will resonate with future generations. Cain might lose both pals and foes in one blow. Billy might permanently alienate Sally. Sharon and Nick might rediscover their common ground. And Noah might come out of treachery either broken or toughened. Nothing will really end, though in typical Young and the Restless fashion. Every riddle answered will lead to another. Every alliance formed will turn to hostility, and every setback will lead to fresh retaliation. The cyclical genius of soap operas is that no triumph is final and no defeat is total. Before the autumn season ends, Noah's mystery is just the start of a bigger storm that will inevitably drag every Newman, Abbott, Baldwin, and others into its path. Which plot point in Wednesday's program are you most excited about? Leave a comment below. For the finest Young and the Restless news, spoilers, and updates, watch the CBS serial opera every day and visit SOS frequently.